All right, hey, what's going on, people? It's your boy Coby Bell. I'm here with my man Brian Lincoln.
Yep.
So, people, I wanted everybody to kind of get a scoop on what Brian does in the community. Brian, tell the people about yourself.
Well, I'm a local real estate broker here in Sacramento, and what I do is I help people get into homes. I help people sell their land, their houses, things they've invested. I'm just an all-around real estate guru. But gosh, what else would you like to know?
Dope, man. So, I heard you say so you help people with selling their homes, purchasing homes,
Yeah.
buying land, doing all these things. How do you do that?
I mean, honestly, man, how do I do it? I don't even know sometimes, but honestly,
That's so crazy.
yeah, but honestly, it's just finding people who are motivated to make a change for themselves one way or another. People have various needs. Sometimes I find myself being more of a counselor than an actual professional. I'm just able to analyze people's needs and help find solutions that help them get what they want out of life.
Okay. Now that's beautiful, man. Because
Yeah.
I feel like people do need that guidance when it comes to purchasing real estate. And I love that you say you can be their counselor. So, what do you have to say for the person who's been renting for years and years and years, and now they're thinking, well, maybe it might be the right time to buy a house, but I just don't think that I can do it. What is your how do you counsel that person?
Well, honestly, everybody can do anything with a plan, and what's meant for someone is meant for someone, and it's going to happen. Sometimes I just have to help people start working in the right direction to get to their goals. Buying a house is one of the biggest things that a lot of people do in their lives, and traditionally, getting started is the hardest part because you have to set up a game plan to be able to get to the goal. And my job sometimes is to help people work through their game plan. So I might tell someone who's been renting for a long time who really has a desire to own their own property. I might tell them, first things first, we have to start with making sure they have stable income and tax returns for a couple of years.
Nice.
Making sure that they've been working at a good job, having an income and been saving money for a while. I might help them work on their credit. I might let them know or get them started with a lender to let them know exactly what they got to pay down or pay off, make agreements, and get a process going. Because if you start walking the steps, if you start going through the process, eventually you're going to get to the goal. If it was easy to have a house, everybody would, but a lot of it comes from planning and dedication. And my job sometimes is to just help motivate.
Okay, beautiful, man. That's critical. And one thing that I love is thinking about a plan. And it also, I feel like that it starts with your mind state. It's before you can like materialize something like being a homeowner. You have to kind of really condition yourself to think that way. And so when we start thinking about the plan, that's really the first. I think that's like probably one first few steps is getting that going, right?
Exactly.
But what I think about is what now down the line, a little bit further down the line, is you have to start somewhere to get further. And so a big thing that comes up in our community is generational wealth, right?
Yes.
And legacy. So what are your thoughts in terms of legacy and generational wealth and how real estate can impact those things?
I mean, honestly, real estate can change your entire life just based on the way our society is set up. When you own something, you get breaks, you get tax breaks, you get benefits. Like when you have a mortgage, it's not due on the first. It's technically due on the first, but they give you till the 17th before they start calling you. It's just, you're relating to your question as far as it relates to generational wealth. I mean, really, you have an asset, and a lot of people have no assets. Assets are what carry you through in times when funds are tight. When you have a house and you own it and it appreciates, you can take a loan on it to get you through when you're struggling. Assets and investments are things that they're not taught in school that you have to sometimes learn on your own out in the world. So ownership, when it comes to people owning property, it's really important to be in the right mindset to be able to invest in yourself and know that in the future, your investment's going to carry you through.
Solid. All right, cool. Well, two things I know about Brian is I know one, he's a Raiders fan.
Oh yeah.
He's a Raider Nation man right here.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is I know is you a big family man.
Oh yeah.
So what are the things that you are maybe talking to your kids about to make sure that they this greatness that you're building right now can still be passed along to them.
Oh man, one thing I'm teaching my kids, well, what I am doing with my kids, I'm trying to immerse them as much as possible into real estate. Like when I'm doing an inspection or if I'm doing an open house, I try to bring my kids along so they can see what it is. And also, I actually tell them the benefits of owning real estate. Like I own a couple of investment properties out of state.
Nice.
And sometimes when I get the rent checks in from those, I let my kids know that because I made the decision to make this purchase, it's going to provide income, stable income for a long time that we don't have to work for. I try to open my kids' eyes and show them through an example, that we can work smarter, not harder, and find ways to leverage investments to help us out rather than us spending our time for money. And that's some things that are not taught, especially to our people.
That's so fire because the thing is, money, you can get it back, but the time, you just can't get that back.
You can't
get that back. And I think that so many people are focused in on finances, money, this, money, that. But the thing that you have to think about with your kids is teaching them real education or generational education, not just generational wealth, generational education, right?
Yes. And the world changes over time. Like our parents had to work hard for the money. Like my parents worked, forever, I realized growing up. My father was in the U.S. Navy. My mother worked for Kaiser, and they worked long hours hard. And just seeing that as an example growing up taught me to try to find a better way because there were others kids in my school whose parents were always home, and their parents basically were stock investors and real estate brokers. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about having vision and understanding what's going on in the world and then finding ways to operate within the system. Everybody has choices in life, and we can make choices to work hard for our money and spend our time that we'll never get back, or find ways to work hard when we're young to make investments so that we get our time back. That's why freedom is not free. It comes at a cost. So work hard, leverage your time and energy towards investments, and then you can spend time with your children. And that's what I'm trying to teach my kids before they get too deep down the rabbit hole and end up spending a lot of time for a momentary opportunity to make money. I want them to be able to pass down businesses and investments to their children.
That's what's up. So I liken it to like when the new iPhone or the new Samsung comes out, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the Samsung 8 was a good phone, right?
Yeah.
But now the 9 is out, right?
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with the kids. It's like maybe I'm an all-star. I would like to say I'm an all-star. I do my thing, right?
Yeah.
But if my kids don't end up being all-stars or even better than that, then did I really do my job?
Yeah.
Like, that's how I think about it, right? And so a lot of times it's these curses that are in certain communities that when we look at it, it's like the maybe 2 or 3 legacies or 2 or 3 generations they got money, but then after that they got to start over again.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
It's crazy. Like my grandfather was getting it on his own. He was independent. He owned like 6 houses. My parents went to school, got jobs. And so now I'm back out here trying to build it again.
Trying to rebuild it.
Yeah.
Trying to rebuild it. And but that's the thing, like that the beautiful part about human spirit and drive is that we gonna do that regardless. But it's like we gotta work smarter than harder now. Right.
Yeah.
So one other thing I wanted to chop it up with you about, Brian, is if you could go back in time and holla at Brian maybe 15 years ago, what would be different things that you would tell yourself, like to make your life a little bit more efficient, be a little bit more just to kind of envision it the way you would want to see it?
I mean, well, honestly, everything happens at the pace that's set by a higher power. Every lesson that you learn, I believe in this one philosophy. You never lose. When you're in a battle, you either win or you learn. L stands for learn, and I did a lot of learning. So if I could tell myself something when I'm younger, I'd tell myself learn from lessons and do not repeat the same mistakes.
Perfect.
That way you'll get to your goal faster. And also be open and aware that there are other people that have went your path before, and they can give you wisdom so that you won't have to make those mistakes to learn on your own. Okay. That's what I would tell myself. And then you get to success faster. Okay. That, and when you first get money, don't waste it. Invest it. Every young baller gets some money and does stupid things with it. I know I did, but I would tell myself, instead of doing the dumb things, invest it, then use the money from the investments to do stupid things.
All right, cool. Not cutting off those stupid things, but just doing it the right way.
Yeah.
And so if in terms of gaining that wisdom and searching for people who are looking for that wisdom, I know there's a ton of people who want to get into selling real estate.
Yeah.
I know it is a ton of people. So like, if I'm out here and I'm thinking, I got everything it takes, I know people, I'm an entrepreneur, I want to be a real estate agent.
Yeah.
What needs to go through your mind? What is the process?
I would well, I mean, honestly, if you want to be a real estate agent, you got to understand it's a long game. I've been doing this since almost 15 years now, and I've only seen success the last 5. So it's not something you can jump into. You have to be wary. You have to be willing to go 2 months without getting paid, to finally get that first deal. You have to be willing to tough it out when other people will quit and go back to the Amazon warehouse. Real estate is not for the weak. So, I mean, the mindset of getting into it, you have to realize it's a lifelong passion. You're starting a business. Your friends and family you can't rely on for business. You need to go out there in the streets and hustle every day. You have to have the determination of one of the top hustlers in the game to be able to make it in real estate at a mediocre level. Okay. So the mindset that you need to go into it, you need to realize it's a choice that you're making for the long term, not the short term.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah. And I think that is just with anything that you do, can't be short-sighted with it. You have to get into it, fully invest yourself, whether it be real estate or, if you building houses, or if you just want to be a retail store owner, you have to invest yourself. Don't look at it like I'm trying to make $1 million tomorrow. Yeah. It's like, let's think about the long game. And so second follow-up question on that is, if I wanted to get some guidance from you personally, is that an option?
Yes, it is. Anybody that's willing to try, they can come down here, pass the real estate test. I will put you out on the streets the next day. It's just, I want to see you consistent. Like, don't expect to make money like your first day. You got to grind hard. You got to be willing to go through the fire to make it in this industry, So, I mean, basically anybody that's willing to learn, I will mentor, coach, give you all the support. But at the end of the day, no matter where you get started, no matter where you go, it's your business and you need to take ownership.
Yeah. No, I think that's good too. And then the thing is, there's certain people who they're not new. They may have been in real estate for a long time. But the thing that I love is that you said you've been in the game for 15 years. The last 5 years, you really started zeroing in on what it is to get it done. So even as an experienced real estate agent, it may be a good thing to come over here and collaborate with somebody like you.
Honestly, yes. Because at the end of the day, you could start anywhere, but sometimes it's just the motivation around you, having a real hustler that you see every day out there getting it, developing good talents. Developing good habits that'll really spark and motivate your career. Like if I'm in here in the office and I see one of my agents busting out like 1,000 postcards, I'm going to come in here and bust out 2,000. Mm-hmm. It's that Coby Mamba mentality. Mm-hmm. You got to go over the top to win. And a lot of people don't have it, but sometimes motivation from seeing other people do it can inspire you to be great.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So the last thing I wanted to ask you is, just as a community, what is there something that we could do to help Brian Lincoln Real Estate grow? What is something that you're looking for?
One thing I'm just looking for is, just credibility, and just visibility. The only thing that the community can do for me is just notice I'm out here, respect that I'm grinding, and when the opportunity arises, come by. Solid. I'm not asking for your business directly. I'm saying if you're talking about real estate in a conversation, just be like, I know a guy, he's over here on Gateway Park Boulevard, stop by and see him. Mm-hmm. As a community, we need to come together, recognize and observe the business owners in our community, and at least refer them to each other. We need to come together. Like if we have a brother that's in construction, every time there's a project popping, I'll be like, yeah, I know that guy. He's a great carpenter. As we just need to build together as a community and use the resources that we have that are already here.
Solid.
That's it.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. And one thing I think about when I think about you is for sure real estate development.
Oh yeah.
I know that you do your thing when it comes to that, man. Tell the people just a last 5-10 seconds about real estate development and what your thoughts are in regards to that.
Real estate development is seeing an opportunity that's out there. Maybe everybody else has walked past it, ignored it, and then seizing that opportunity. Ooh. There are people that are just sitting on vacant lots that they've inherited from their grandparents, and all they do is cut the grass and pay fines from the city for illegal dumping. Reach out to people. You just have to have a mind to take something that's like a diamond in the rough, polish it, and then put it back out on the market for other people. Business is simple. You buy something cheap, you make it better, and you sell it to somebody else for a profit. That's development.
Solid. Yeah. So speaking of diamonds in the rough, We have my man Brian Lincoln. He just dropped a bunch of gems and diamonds and jewels on you guys. You guys take that and make something with it. Don't just listen to it. Actually do some. Apply this knowledge, right? All right, cool. So Brian, I appreciate you. It's your boy Coby Bell. We here putting my man's business on blast. All right, y'all take care.
Thank you.